The boys are back. That's right, Florida Man Sports is here with another exciting episode. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. This is Florida Man Sports.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to Florida Man Football.
Yes, sir.
Johnny Cinco, before we get started, I always want to remind everyone, as always, that we do like to stream on all major platforms. So please do like, share, and subscribe. And Cinco, when we've been doing this for so many years now that I feel like when things happen when tragedy strikes, now it feels like it happens more and more often, but I guess that's because we record these shows and we've had instances where people have passed away, and we remember them. And so I can't start Florida Man Football today without mentioning Charlie Kirk. I've said them many times that thoughts and prayers aren't enough, but it's definitely a start. Heartbroken. And it's kind of hard to be heartbroken over someone that you never knew as a person. Somebody who at one point could have possibly even ran for president one day. Any words on that? Because I feel like we can't have this episode. We can't make all these jokes, Johnny, in my opinion, until we address the elephant in the room and just give our best to the family.
And I get it. At the end of the day, we're sitting here. We're a couple of idiots doing a sports podcast, just kind of talking. But, things happen in the world and things that affect us. That affects, being from the Southeast down here in Florida, it's anything, any innocent life that's taken because you just want to go ahead and speak, your truth, whatever it is you want to talk about, freedom of speech is a right in this country, and a man or woman shouldn't lose their life just because of the fact that you didn't happen to like what they had to say.
And so ultimately we are going to continue with the buffoonery that is Florida Man Football. We are going to try to cheer you up here for a little bit. I apologize for the somber mood, but again, we have to address the elephant in the room. So God bless you, Charlie Kirk.
Amen.
With that being said, Johnny Cinco, again, we are going to start with our NFL Florida teams as always. Let's talk a little bit about the week that was. I always say week one is always a crazy week. We did have a crazy week one. What are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on your takeaways?
I get it, dude. No, week one was insane. It was freaking insane. Every game was close down to the wire. Yeah, of course, except Miami. I have to talk about a couple different things here. And first of the Miami Dolphins. Now, Chris, week one, you never want to overreact. That's what everybody says. Don't overreact.
That was going to be part of my,
You know what I say? The hell with that. Okay. I'm about to overreact because listen, from what I saw from the Miami Dolphins, now, we were concerned about, of course, their defense. Oh my God, what's going to happen here? It's their defense is lacking. They're injured. It's a bit of a mess. But we expected the Miami Dolphin offense to be a legit offense. So regardless, they're going to put some points up. They're going to go ahead and make the defense work.
Yeah, Hill and Waddle still scares people on paper, and you expect Tua to be the leader that he's supposed to be.
Yeah, the guy, was, when he's healthy, essentially the most accurate quarterback in terms of percentage. Right. And what did he go? 14 for 23, Chris, 114 yards. Listen, it's people said don't pit the panic mode. No, the Miami. I've completely given up on the Miami Dolphins season. Okay, week one, and that's a crazy. If you saw the same game I saw, he was lost completely. Tua was completely lost. Now, I don't remember the Colts having an elite defense. They weren't going to do anything special. I expect them by the end of the year to be a mid-tier defense, maybe upper mid, but they're not going to be a top 3 defense. And they made Daniel Jones look like Joe Montana. They made that defense was horrendous. The offense was pathetic. And I've completely given up on the Miami Dolphins.
I did pick Miami to win. I picked all of Florida teams to win this first week one here at Florida Man Football not just because Florida Man Football, but because to your point, yes, we did expect a little bit better offensive output than we got from Miami.
A little bit better.
Yeah, I'm not going to push the panic button because this is Florida Man Football, and because I know that Tua's job is riding on it as much as McDaniel's, that they fix it now rather than later. But yes, definitely shocked about how well. Well, I knew Pittman was going to get some numbers to have a bounce back type of game, and I knew Taylor was too, but I didn't expect Daniel Jones to just burn him like that. So
I'm giving up on the Miami Dolphins. And first, so right here, Florida Man Football, I am calling for. Not only for, to McDaniels to go ahead and be fired, forget it. Let's move on from that there. I'm calling it right now. Let's go ahead and start the petition. Jon Gruden coming back, coaching the Miami Dolphins.
Well, we're going to get to college at the end, but I hear more. It's going to be more for the Florida Gators is what I hear.
Yeah, well,
little whispers.
If everybody who's talking, if you talk to Jon Gruden, he has told you millions. He's had so many opportunities for college, and he said, I want to coach in the NFL. He's an NFL coach. And of course, everything that's kind of happened, maybe he's going to be like, well, I want to coach somewhere. I might as well coach in college.
Belichick, exactly.
But with the lawsuit, the whole thing, the appeals thing that's going on with Gruden, he has the NFL by the balls.
A real stick it to the NFL.
So hey, they may actually go ahead and reverse. So still, Gruden, I'm still saying Miami Dolphins.
Before I give you my takeaway on the Bucs and on the Jags, any other takeaways on the NFL?
Yeah, dude. Caleb Williams is trash. Caleb Williams is complete trash. And I said it last week before the season started. So but does the coach have the balls to do what Pete Carroll did, what Belichick did, was take the backup and say, no, you're our guy. When there's like a guy you paid a proven starter, say, no, you're the guy. Baguette can run this offense to be a 10, 12 game winner. Caleb Williams is going to lead this team to 6 or 7 wins. Caleb Williams, if you saw what I saw, and I don't care, I'm not a Chicago hater, I'm not a Vikings fan, but I saw a quarterback that had a full year. I saw a quarterback that didn't have anything, complete off one year, and J.J. McCarthy is the truth. That dude was poised, what you want from a quarterback. His game, for me, is almost a metaphor of Baker Mayfield's career. Baker Mayfield, we love him here, obviously great, Tampa Bay quarterback, but Baker Mayfield, was just, they've written him off. He was supposed to be done. He had high expectations, didn't work out, and then he clawed his way back to we think he's going to be the champion he's going to be. J.J. McCarthy comes in that first half, 50 yards the first half, Chris? 50 yards, didn't do anything there. And then they were joking about it, comes in the second half, pick 6 immediately, and just leads this team to 21 unanswered points. J.J. McCarthy's the truth. Williams is trash.
I will say this about Williams, again, trying to reiterate here, but how hard I was with last year, him being the number 1 pick. I said he shouldn't be. This year, I saw the tape of what he did in the offseason. I like what I saw. If you actually watch the game, the guy's put on some weights, put on some muscle.
Yeah.
I like to see that. What I will say about Williams, what I kind of noticed now, Johnny, is if there's a game plan like A, B, C to do, he's your guy. The problem that happened with the game, Johnny, and to your point, is that when there is no ABC plan and you got to go out there and read the defense on your own, he chokes. And that's what I saw that happen. That's what I saw. That's a big red flag. I'm not trying to, because I know that every guy's a little different, but this whole thing about painting the nails thing, I'm too old for that to be cool or anything like that. For me, if you're winning games and you're winning championships and you're winning playoff games, hey, do whatever you want. Paint your nails, paint your toes. I don't care. But when you're not winning, I look at things like that and I see distractions, and those are things cause for concerns for me. So that's my take on that.
Dude, quarterbacks in the NFL have to be leaders of men.
Yeah.
And when I was hearing Aaron Jones, who was kind of talking about how he managed the huddle, and he kind of talked about, he's like, dude, we were there and we haven't really come back yet. We're still down. And he comes up to us, he looks us all in the eye, and he says, is there any place else you'd rather be? Right there in that moment, some rookie comes in, they're down, and and then he said that hyped them up so much, and they did that. Caleb Williams can go manage a nail salon if he likes, but he's not a leader of men.
Like I said, man, not something I knock him on that. It's again, if you're winning, then nobody says anything about it. As far as before we go into our week 2 picks, Johnny Cinco, we're going to take it away here. Give a little feedback too on the rest of the Florida team.
Yeah.
Let's start with Tampa.
Yeah.
If you watch the game, of course, I'm happy we won. Missed field goals are good for the Bucs when they're not us the ones kicking the field goals.
Thank God for
but ultimately, I'm telling you guys, out of a grade, because we got the W, I'll give it a C+. I'm going to be very real with us. Baker Mayfield could have thrown 3 interceptions. It was literally it could have been 3 interceptions during that game.
Yeah.
It's cause for concern. I've said it before. I said it in the offseason. I need him to limit it to 12 or less interceptions. He almost had 3. So short of that, I know I'm being a high critic here because I want the Bucs to win every single game, but that was a cause for concern. The other thing is, from a fantasy perspective, Johnny Cinco, if you have Mike Evans, he's going to pay you dividends this week. It's Monday Night Football. I know you're going to tell us who's going to win here when we get to those predictions, but I expect him to bounce back. He saw Ibuka with 2 touchdowns. I know Evans is foaming out the mouth. Monday night, he's going to do it. And then for Jacksonville, Johnny Cinco, I got to give credit where credit is due. Travis Hunter looked good. Week 1, it's overreaction for week 1. 8 targets. He caught 6 for 33 yards. I know it's not sexy, 33 yards, but just the fact that he's involved in 8 targets and he's playing defense, that's a sign of something good. Plus, the Jaguars won. If they didn't win, then another cause for concern. So be excited for Travis Hunter. A good week 1 out the gate. What are your thoughts there?
I agree with you. I think, like I said before, I expect Jacksonville to have a pretty good year. I expected the Tampa to have a great year.
Yeah.
You know, they went back and forth with Tampa. I finally saw them like, no, this is going to be a good team.
Did your butt pucker like mine when you saw Baker throw almost 3? He almost threw 3 interceptions. I really got scared.
I understand that, but I expect that from Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is Brett Favre. You know, it's just what he's a gunslinger. So he needs to calm down a bit because we talked about exactly, he said 12. I said he needs to keep it under double digits, under 10, right around there. Right. Max 10, that's where he's at. But he needs to really relax, dude. I get it. You need to make things happen. Yeah. But at the end of the day, dude, he made things happen. Yeah, he let that team down, won the game.
He did.
So it is what it is.
That study was beautiful at the end. Absolutely.
So I'm good with that. I understand why he did what he did. I understand the concern. But Baker Mayfield and Baker, I trust.
Hey, Florida Man football. Let's go. Week 2 is started. Week 1 is in the books. Johnny Cinco, you're going to take it away this week.
All right, let's go.
We're going to go.
How'd you do last week?
We're going to go. Actually, I did very, very well. If you actually go back to if you watch the podcast,
sure.
And you know what I said, I was 2 games away from my average. I'll take that all day.
All right.
Those 2 games were 3 points or less combined. I'll take it all day.
Chris will take an almost win. I get that.
Hey, it's week 1.
Okay.
And if you're betting the points, then you still won. You're welcome.
Yeah, listen.
If you bet the points, you still won.
I don't want to hear that because if we were making the picks and with the points included, of course my picks would be different. We're making it easy for you, wins and losses. Now Johnny's picks. Now come to daddy. I'm going to show you how to win.
So Christian got you the low fruit week 1. You're welcome.
Oh, okay.
You better go undefeated week 2. Starting Thursday Night Football tomorrow, on Prime. You got the Commanders. The Packers are at home. Johnny, I want to remind you that the Packers looked good this last week. So did the Commanders, of course.
Yeah.
Who do you got winning this one?
Packers right now look to be the best team in football. Right now, I looked at them and I'm like, listen, I get it. We can sit here and talk about, when we will talk about the Bills and Ravens. We know that the AFC is going to go through one of those guys here, but the Packers are a complete team. They are the better team, not only against the Commanders, they look to be the best right now in general. So Packers are winning this game.
Florida Man football says Packers win at home.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about Giants and Cowboys. Cowboys looked decent. I know you always like knock on them boys. It looked decent. Yeah. The Giants, not so much. The Cowboys are at home. Both teams are 0-1. Who's winning this one?
Let's be clear. The Cowboys should have won that game against Philadelphia.
Wow.
Dak played great, and nobody gave him a chance. They expected him to get. Listen, their run defense actually held Barkley to 60 yards.
Nobody gave him a chance?
CeeDee Lamb just forgot how to catch. So that's the main issue. I mean, Dak was throwing dots. And they should have won the game, and it shut a lot of people up. But they lost. You know why they lost, Chris? Because of the damn Cowboys. And the Cowboys find a way to lose. But against the Giants, against the Jersey Giants, they're going to go ahead and win this game.
Cowboys win. The home team wins again. Let's talk about the Bears and the Lions. We kind of already talked a little bit about Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
However, both teams are 0-1. Johnny Cinco, The Lions did lose last week. Who's taking this one?
Now, normally looking at a game like this, I'm telling you, I'm not automatically going the Lions. I'm looking at this. I'm like, dude, this is the former offensive coordinator that's going to go ahead and play against his old team immediately. Now, John Gruden playing against the Raiders, he dominated. He knows the players. He knows what's happening here. So he knows what to do. He knows the weaknesses here. Here's the problem, Chris. Caleb Williams, even with the extra help, the extra ammunition, is not a good enough quarterback to beat this Detroit Lions team. Even with that information, they should win. If it was somebody else besides Caleb Williams, I'm going to pick that team. But Caleb Williams is a nail salon manager at best. Okay, so no, the Lions are winning this game.
Oh, my goodness. Another home team wins. Yes. Lions win at home. Let's talk about the Rams and the Titans. The Titans, of course, rookies are rookies, starting 0-1 for the season. You got the Rams 1-0. I will just say real quick, from a fantasy perspective, don't give up on Adams because I feel like he'll have a better week this week. But who do you have in the Rams and Titans?
I like Stafford as long as his back is okay. And everything I'm reading is saying that his back is holding up. He had the epidural. He has a couple of things going on. But I don't trust Stafford for the season. That back is not going to hold up, but week 2, it is going to hold up. I like the Rams over the Titans. Cam Ward, I don't believe in Cam Ward. I saw a couple of blips here and there, but Cam Ward, I don't think so. He's not going to do it against the Rams defense.
The first team on the road gets W. Let's talk about Patriots and Dolphins. The Dolphins are at home. Both teams are 0-1. Take your time on this one because, again, the Dolphins could bounce back. They are at home. Patriots, they last year, correct me if I'm wrong, but they won a game or two on the road last year. Who's taking this one?
I don't have any faith in the Dolphins to do much this season, but understand something. The Dolphins always play well against the Patriots, especially at home. I mean, with the exception of one game. I went to Monday Night Football where Tom Brady threw a Monday Night Football record, 500-plus yards. It was a great game. But Tom Brady ain't coming out there. And as much as I'm disappointed in the Dolphins at home against the Patriots, somehow, I'm telling you right now, they're going to bounce back and win this game.
Wow.
And win against the Patriots at home. Dolphins win.
I mean, it's a close game. The money line does say Miami by 1.5, so Miami's winning at home. Let's talk about the Saints and the Niners. The Niners are 1-0. The Saints, of course, are 0-1. But big but, Saints are at home. Johnny Cinco, second but. It's not been It's not been confirmed that our boy here is hurt. He won't be playing. We're talking about Purdy, so who's winning this one?
I don't expect Purdy to play, and I don't. We know that Kittle's not going to play either.
Correct.
So
yes,
you look at this here, but the Saints are such a trash team. Radner is not look. Listen, the Saints are just trying to go ahead and get that number one pick. So even with it's difficult here. You can say either team will win, but no, there's too many weapons on the Niners. Even with Ratner, I picked the Niners to go ahead and beat the Saints.
How do you think, just from a fantasy perspective, McCaffrey's going to do? Remember, he had the calf injury, but he did well last week. You think he's going to blow up this one because the Saints, not a very good team?
If that calf doesn't fall off like a cooked pot roast, so as long as it stays intact, they're going to rely on him. They're going to rely, obviously, on their running game. So that's. And the Saints defense across the board is terrible. And so San Francisco has a decent secondary. So they're going to go ahead and test this kid. His second year, but he did not show you anything. I don't know what the Saints are doing. Kellen Moore is going to have to come up with something up his sleeve, but I don't see it to be enough to beat the Niners.
Saints will be 0-2. Let's talk about the Bills and the Jets. Johnny Cinco, another 1 o'clock game where the Bills, they won that improbable game last week against the Ravens. And then, of course, you've got the Jets that played a very close game.
Yes,
I think it was Fields that was like the top 3 quarterback in fantasy this week one. And the Jets are at home, Johnny. So who's winning this one?
Well, Justin Fields is a Timu Lamar Jackson. So
wow.
If somehow the Bills found a way to go ahead and win that remarkable game against the real deal, I don't expect Timu to go ahead and beat them. The fake New York team is not beating the real New York team. Buffalo Bills are going to lay it down to the Jersey Jets.
Both New York, New Jersey teams will be 0-2. Wow.
They're both trash.
Bills went on the road. Let's talk a little Seahawks, Steelers, Johnny. Steelers are 1-0. Rodgers won that game that he wanted to win against the Jets. Got the Seahawks who started 0-1. I don't know if you want to ring the alarm just yet on them, but the Steelers are at home. Who's taking this one?
Well, DK Metcalf plays against his old team. It's easy to overreact on how good of a game the Steelers had and what Rodgers had and everything else. But I didn't see enough of it. That Seahawks defense did not look great against the Niners here. So I'm going to go and pick the Steelers to go ahead and light it up here. I don't expect a performance like Rodgers had last game, but I expect them to go ahead and really get that running game going a little bit more in the Steelers end here. So a couple touchdowns for Rodgers, a couple touchdowns on the running game here, and they're going to win this game.
I'm also going to just throw a little flake in there, Johnny Cinco, that I'm a big believer when there's like a revenge game like that, you take the elite talent. I feel like Metcalf's going to have himself a great fantasy game. And Steelers are winning, according to Johnny. Let's go. Let's talk a little Browns and Ravens. Both teams are 0-1. We already talked about why the Ravens are 0-1. Browns are just a mess. Johnny Cinco. Ravens are at home. The money line says Baltimore minus 11.5.
That's insane.
Who's winning this game?
I mean, the money line's insane. The money line, I almost like the Browns, but we're not playing. I'm just picking the winner who's going to win this game here. But the Browns played well against Cincinnati. They barely lost by a point.
But those games are always close. The Browns be trash, and those games are always close.
You're right. But the Ravens, come on. The AFC is going through Baltimore or Buffalo, so there's the Chargers look really good. I really like the Chargers. They're an elite team. They're in the mix, but those two teams you're not going to sit here and tell me the Browns. The Ravens started 0-3 last year. Remember, it was like, no teams make the playoffs. And they said, okay, let me go ahead and here's my beer. Let me go and show you what I can do. I don't expect them to start 0-2 this year, not against the Browns. Ravens winning.
Browns 0-2. Any changes at quarterback at 0-2?
No.
All right. You know, because that's
the Browns don't know what they're doing, bro.
That's the watch. I'm just saying that's the watch.
Browns are a mess. They don't know what they're doing now.
Next game up on the docket here, Johnny Cinco. Nobody, now we're at the 4 o'clock games, but nobody expected this at week 2 where the Colts are undefeated.
Yep.
Broncos are undefeated. Colts are at home. Money line is 1.5 for the Colts. Or excuse me, for Denver. Who's winning this one?
You know, you're trying to figure out, is Daniel Jones as good as what we saw, or is the Miami defense that bad? So it could be a mixture of the two, but I do like the way Daniel Jones works in this offense. Bo Nix did not look good. They found a way to win that game like that.
Did I tell you? Hey, I tell you? But, I told you.
But the Broncos defense is not Miami's defense.
That's true.
But Bo Nix, I didn't like anything I saw. So this is going to tell me if the Colts defense is for real or not. But I know the Broncos defense is for real, but I'm going to go ahead and take the home team here. Colts, go ahead and beat the Broncos. Battle the horses.
That's your first upset of the week, looks like. Okay, taking the Colts at home.
No, I think the Dolphins over the Patriots is another upset, I think.
Well, let's find out. Miami was 1.5. Miami expect to win
because they always freaking put it on. It's never like a gimme, no matter what they're happening.
No, that's cool. Let's go. It's your first upset, and I like that. Colts are at home. Let's talk a little bit of Panthers and Cardinals. Money line says -6.5 for the Cardinals. Cardinals are 1-0. The connection to Harrison was there. I was hoping to see that from a fantasy perspective. I was right about that. Panthers are on the road. They're 0-1. Who's winning this game?
Well, I expected a better year from the Panthers this year, and the Panthers looked just as bad as it did last year. So for them to go ahead and elect against the Cardinals, which I don't expect a whole lot from the Cards. But
real quick, do you see the whole thing? It's an X of Young looking at the scoreboard instead of looking at the game.
Yeah.
But what is going on with these quarterbacks, man? What the hell?
I think the bigger deal is I know we passed the game was with Judy, the whole situation with him with the yard. Did you see that whole thing,
dude?
So there's this we already hear whispers of gambling in the NBA of people getting points. Clearly, you saw a situation with a wide receiver needed yardage, and he was not going to go ahead and do that. You guys know what's going on.
Not lateral the ball, but instead get it.
Nope,
dude.
You don't get credit for the yards if you lateral the ball.
Yeah.
So
dude,
you want to make sure you get it.
Crazy.
If the NFL doesn't investigate this whole thing's a sham.
No, they haven't, because if they had, we would have known about it by now.
Listen, I mean, I don't know, man, but the Cardinals are going to win that game. I know we went on a tangent, but that just remind me of that.
I'm just saying, man. All right, you got the Cardinals at home.
Yeah, Mini Murray's going to pull it off.
Let's talk a little game of the week action for the afternoon games from Johnny Cinco. You got the Eagles and the Chiefs. It's a game of the week written all over. You're expecting the Chiefs to win at the money line. Excuse me, it's Philly -1.5. It's a game that you expect the Chiefs to win because you don't expect the Chiefs to go 0-2.
Correct.
What do you say?
Well, what we saw is that when a game is called correctly, the Chiefs do not automatically win. We saw with the Chargers, which Herbert's finally the truth. Herbert's finally the guy that everybody trying to convince me he was. Oh, he's this elite quarterback. He isn't. And he showed me that, okay, this is your year.
He looked good, man. For one
really
game.
Good. Harbaugh knows what he's doing. Everything else.
Overreaction week one. Overreaction.
Point. But back to the Eagles and Chiefs here. Listen, the Eagles didn't look great against Dallas. So I can't, even though that the NFL hasn't completely abandoned their I guess boyfriend and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that the Chiefs at home are going to go ahead and bounce back. I think both teams are going to be 1-1.
I like that. Both teams will be 1-1. Yeah, I can't see I can't fathom the Chiefs being 0-2 to start the season. I guess anything is possible, but I can't see that. And as far as like the Eagles, man, this is my thoughts on this. That tush push is carrying them. If it wasn't even for the tush push, they wouldn't have won that game. Like I got to give them they've patented this thing, man. How many? I think it was twice they used it for first downs last game against Dallas.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And I hated it when we talked about this in a previous show.
It's crazy. They patent, man.
And it's like I hate it because it's boring to watch. I hate it. Like make them.
And it literally won them the game.
Yeah, it's trash. I hate it.
Wrapping up the games here, Florida Man football. 2 more games left. Johnny Cinco. You got the Falcons and the Vikings. The Vikings are at home. They are 1-0. We talked about the magic that McCarthy was, and Raheem Morris and the Falcons are 0-1 because the Bucks beat them down. Just kidding, 1-3. Vikings are at home. Who's winning this game?
JJ McCarthy's the truth. He got tons of confidence from that game, as he should. The Falcons. Penix isn't the guy. Listen, I get it. He found a way to do a couple things here and there, but I'm like, no. Penix isn't the guy. He still looks better than Caleb Williams, but still, the Vikings are winning this game.
You know, we're all the same when we stick to the picks this season. So I'm agreeing with you. You picked the Vikings, so I'm sticking with the Vikings. I will tell you this: I wouldn't be surprised if it won. I think that because isn't Penix like year 2? And McCarthy would have been year 2. So I think it's going to be a battle of the two, year 2 quarterbacks. I see something like that happening.
I understand what you're saying.
But no, we're sticking with the Vikings.
I get it. But here's your, I get what you're saying, but we just saw that in week 1. Caleb Williams had an entire year. Penix came in, mid, a little late in the year after the Falcons went ahead and screwed Cousins. Yeah. But it ends up being something. We saw everything on that. McCarthy comes in. And the poise, the testicular fortitude is going to show again here against the Penix. Come on.
I definitely love me, the Vikings coach. You know that. Yeah. Got a man crush on him. Monday Night Football, we already talked about the Bucs and the Texans. There's 2 Monday Night Football games. Jonny Cinco put the bow on this.
We didn't pick the Bucs and Texans, though. Yeah, you mentioned it, but you haven't asked me.
I didn't ask you about the Bucs and Texans?
No, sir.
I didn't ask you about the...
You did not.
God, what a terrible Florida man football. Yeah. What a terrible man. Bucs and Texans, Jonny Cinco. Texans are at home. They did start the season 0-1. A lot of talks about C.J. Stroud going on. Bucs are undefeated. Who's winning this game?
No, man, I'm sorry. I know that, it's Florida man football. You're going to go ahead and automatically think that's going to go to the Florida team. You're damn right, especially against the Houston Texans. No, Baker Mayfield, you're going to see, honestly, an offensive explosion this game here. That was a tight game against a divisional rival we saw last week. This is going to be 30-plus points by this Bucs offense in this game. The secondary for the Texans, it didn't really show me much. I don't know. I'm just hoping that the Buccaneers secondary can hold the Texans to under 20 points to really solidify their dominance. Honestly, I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing in the NFC Championship this year. So it's just going to come down right now to just prove me right. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to have tight games.
I was down today. You were trying to lift my spirits up. Is that what you're doing?
No, because you were so critical on Tampa against the because you always are. But I'm like, dude, this is the divisional game. This is always a tight game.
I'm going to call it like it is.
It's always a tight game against the Falcons, always a tight game against the Saints, and never a tight game against the Panthers because they're trash. But you know what I'm talking about. It's just how it is.
It was great to see Winfield Jr. again. I know we just talked about the game last week, but it was good to see Winfield Jr. on top of his game against Atlanta help us win that game. I will say, you're picking the Bucs to win on the road. Yeah. Picking the Texans to lose. I love that. I will say this, just please stay healthy. I mean, I know I've said it before, stay healthy. As long as you come out of the game healthy, I think that they're going to win as well. Florida man football picks the Bucs to win. Yeah. Chargers, Raiders. Money line says Chargers -3.5, Jonny Cinco. Both teams are undefeated. We saw what the Chargers did. The Raiders were, we didn't really talk about them this episode, but the Raiders were impressive too, I thought, this week 1.
I'm a big Pete Carroll fan. I think he's going to do good things for that team, that organization. The Chargers for me right now are the third best team in the AFC. And the third best team in the AFC is not going to lose to the Raiders. This Chargers team, the defense is going to finish as a top 5 defense. If Herbert continues to play the way he's been, he's going to be an MVP candidate.
They're in Las Vegas, by the way.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't matter Las Vegas or not. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm telling you right now, if Herbert, they let the kid loose and he lit it up. He has the weapons. Him and Keenan Allen went ahead and they reconnected. This team is legit. They're going to be a force to reckon with this year, and they're going to run all over the Raiders.
Those are Florida Man Football. Again, I want to remind you that we are streaming on all major platforms. Those are the week 2 picks where we are going to get our average of 86% back up starting week 2, according to Jonny Cinco. Yeah. Hey, Johnny, before we put a bow on this episode of Florida Man Football, I want to remind, always have to talk a little bit college football.
Yes, sir.
And, man, what's your takeaways? Let's start there from last week.
A couple things, guys. So I told you before the season, Chris disagreed with me, but he understood. It's like, okay, we saw what's going on here, that FSU is going to have a bounce back here. FSU has proven me right, and I appreciate you. There's a bye week this week here, so it's like, all right.
But they had a bye week 2 as well, John.
77-3, bro.
Exactly. That's a bye week. No. That's a bye week. Don't celebrate a bye week, brother. Don't celebrate a bye.
I'm not celebrating the bye. I'm celebrating against Bama. But still, when you go ahead against a team, you should dominate. 77-3 is like a statement, bro. It's like,
I think that Castellanos, and whatever his name is, he listens to Florida football, and he knows how critical I've been of him, and now he's stepping up. So I take the credit for that.
Anyway, I told you they're bouncing back, and they are. You didn't even have them bowl eligible.
Talk to us a little bit about the Gators, man.
Well, UCF, I was real quick. They're actually a bye week this week as well. They're preparing for Belichick. They're playing the UNC, the week after. So those 2 teams, okay, right there. But Well, I told you about this, the damn Gators. I didn't understand how they were ranked 15 to start the season. I'm like, what?
I'll tell you why, because we were all on the same page. I was high on them too. I was guilty of it too. I was high on them too.
And I said from the beginning, it's like, Napier is a basic coach. He's not the guy. So now the question mark was on Lagway, DJ Lagway, and I was reading all this Heisman hype about this kid. I'm like, what? What have you seen that I haven't seen? And then, of course, he plays Long Island, plays well. I'm like, okay, he played Long Island. He's supposed to do that. And then he goes ahead. I was like, I wanted to see what you can do against a proven team, a good team. And we didn't even get that far because he goes against unranked USF, respect to USF.
We have the Bulls, baby.
We have to seriously start considering putting them in the mix.
Now, of course.
Yes, we have to start considering, because we written them off. Like, USF, they ain't one of the dominant ones, and they're not doing much. But no,
not me.
Two straight wins against a ranked team.
Yeah,
and Lagway, that's not an elite defense. I mean, we'll see. You know what? I'll give Lagway the benefit of the doubt after this week, Chris, because now USF, they play the University of Miami.
Yeah.
Now, I expect Miami. You know how I expect Miami in the college football playoffs. I expect them to not even lose a game. At worst, we'll lose in one game, and it ain't going to be USF.
Could you imagine? No, let's play devil's advocate. Could you imagine if USF somehow, some way beat Miami? And then they beat essentially the Gators and Miami.
Oh, dude, if they do this, obviously they're going to end up being in the top 10. They're going to be in the top 10. Insane. Listen,
Miami, that's not gonna happen.
It's college football. Miami is a 17.5-point favorite, which is nuts. So I'm like 17.5-point favorites against a team who just beat 2 consecutive ranked opponents. And I was like, 17.5? You're no respect for USF. I don't want to get it. I still expect Miami to win. It's going to happen. I'm sorry. Miami's going to go in and win this game, so I'm not going to sweat it. Florida plays LSU. Florida, you're losing again. I'm sorry. You're not beating LSU. It ain't happening here. So
it's tough for me. I'm going to have to go with LSU.
So, ranked number 3. They're legit. From what I saw from Florida. So it's going to be a fun week, this week with college football and the pros. But week 1 was nuts. Yeah. I'm sure you thought you saw everything here. Now, I gave you my picks, guys. Trust in Johnny. Trust in everything I bring you to the table. I'm telling you right now.
I gave you a little fruit from week 1.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know what you gave me from week 1, but I know how that applies to week 2.
Set the bar.
Anyway, so you set the bar really low. But anyway, we appreciate you guys listening, watching us here. We're going to continue to keep doing our show here every week. Please continue to support us and subscribe and do everything you're supposed to do. Be a good American. We appreciate you guys. Later.